All right, today we're going to break down 10 personal finance lessons that aren't just a random list of tips. No, this is a full-on system for building real, lasting wealth. And we're going to kick things off with the one core idea that holds it all together.
So this idea right here, it's pretty much the foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. The whole ability to resist a small immediate reward for a much bigger one later on, that's not just a finance tip. It's really the master key to getting ahead in life.
Now, instead of just throwing 10 rules at you, we're going to frame this as a 3-stage journey. It makes so much more sense this way. First, we've got mastering your mindset. Then, we move on to building winning habits. And finally, we'll talk about a simple path to wealth. It really helps you see how all these pieces fit together to build something solid.
Okay, so let's dive into stage 1, mastering your financial mindset. This is all about the why. Because look, before you can start making the right moves with your money, you absolutely have to get your head in the game. Real success starts between your ears.
So what does this whole delayed gratification thing actually look like in the real world? Well, it's choosing to hold on to your investments for the long haul instead of trying to chase some quick, flashy win. It's about knowing that patience and compounding, well, those are your superpowers on this journey. And here's where that big idea becomes a super simple, practical rule. Let's say you're thinking about buying a $500 gaming console. Ask yourself, could I buy it twice? If the thought of dropping $1,000 on it makes your stomach clench, you probably can't really afford that $500 price tag just yet. It's just a brilliant little mental check.
And this isn't just about buying stuff, right? This kind of long-term thinking clarifies the really big decisions in life. There's this great personal example where the person who came up with these lessons turned down a higher-paying marketing job. And you might think, why would you do that? Well, because he zoomed out and asked himself, do I want to be doing this in 10 or 20 years? And the answer was a hard no. That short-term cash just wasn't worth going down the wrong long-term path.
I love this one. This perfectly explains the difference between looking rich and being wealthy. The 30K millionaire. We all know someone like this. Earns a pretty normal salary, but spends every last penny trying to look rich. But real wealth? It's usually invisible. It's built by living below your means and caring more about your financial security than about what other people think.
So what's the big takeaway from all this mindset stuff? It's simple. You have to run your own race. Seriously. Stop scrolling through social media comparing your financial situation to someone else's highlight reel. Their goals, their income, their comfort with risk, it's all completely different from yours. You have to define your own version of success.
Okay, so we've got our heads in the right place. Let's move on to stage 2, building those winning habits. This is the how. These are the actual, repeatable actions that are going to turn that strong mindset into real, tangible results.
And it all starts with knowing your numbers. You've got to consistently track these big 3. First, what you spend. Second, what percentage of your income you actually save. And third, your overall net worth. You just can't improve what you don't measure. And these 3 numbers, they give you the absolute clearest picture of where you stand.
As you're tracking your expenses, here's a fantastic rule of thumb to keep in mind. Try to keep your fixed costs, rent, car payments, insurance, below about 50 to 60% of your take-home pay. Because if those costs get too high, it just squeezes out all the money you need for everything else, especially saving and investing.
Now, here is a habit you have got to avoid, at all costs. Borrowing money for things that go down in value. Yeah, financing a car is pretty common, but financing furniture? Jewelry? The way the source material puts it is just perfect. You are paying money to lose money. Think about it. You're paying interest on something that's actively getting less valuable. It's a double whammy. Okay, listen up, because this next one is absolutely crucial, especially if you're just starting out. Getting to your first $100,000 is a different game. Your savings rate matters way more than your investment returns. Just look at this chart. Based on this calculation, a whopping 77% of that first nest egg comes directly from what you save. In the beginning, you just have to be a saving machine. That's what builds the foundation. And building that foundation is what lets us move on to our final stage, a simple path to wealth. This is the what. This is the straightforward long-term strategy that lets your mindset and all those good habits really truly pay off. It's so easy to fall into this trap of thinking that more is better. People buy 10 different ETFs thinking they're being smart and diversified. But half the time, those funds all own the same stuff and they're just making things way too complicated. For most of us, 1 to 3 broad, low-cost index funds are all you'll ever need.
Simplicity's your friend here, for sure.
So many people are just terrified of investing at the wrong time. But just look at this timeline. If you only invest for 5 years, yeah, you might lose money. It's possible. But stretch that out to 20 or 30 years, historically with US stocks, the risk of actually losing money has pretty much vanished. How long you stay in the market is so much more important than when you get in.
And really, this quote from Morgan Housel, who wrote The Psychology of Money, just nails the entire philosophy. The goal isn't to be some stock-picking genius who beats the market every year. No, the goal is just to earn the market's average returns, but, and this is the key, to do it for decades. Endurance, not brilliance, is the real secret weapon.
And hey, if you need one final piece of proof that being average is actually a winning strategy, well, here it is. Over the last 15 years, a simple, boring investor who just bought an S&P 500 index fund would have beaten 92% of the pros, the people who get paid big bucks to actively manage funds. You win by not trying to be too clever.
So, there you have it. That's the whole framework, right? Your 3-stage journey. It all starts with your mindset, thinking long-term. That mindset then fuels your habits, tracking your numbers and saving like crazy. And that finally powers your simple investment strategy, where you let time and the market do all the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so the big question is, what's next? Knowing this stuff is great, but it's just potential power. Taking action is what actually changes your life. So look back at everything we just covered and ask yourself, what is the one lesson I can start applying today? That's your first step. Go take it.